Welcome everyone to the Side Draft Podcast, and welcome to the outdoors.
The Gander's outdoors.
The Gander Outdoor Truck Series. We're outdoors, so bit of a different setup. We're trying this out to see if we can go outside of the realm of our podcast room and maybe go to some race teams, do some driver interviews if we can. Not too sure how that's going to go, but if this turns out all good, that's definitely a possibility. So before we get into the race review, I do want to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there who listen on the Side Draft Podcast. And Happy Father's Day to the father here.
Thank you.
The father and son podcast. So, speaking of that, we are in year number one. We've completed year number one of Side Draft Podcast. From last year, we didn't even have any sort of video at all, and here we are now taking it outside.
Taking it outside.
It's
taking it on the road.
It's crazy to see how far we've went and improved on throughout the year, but can't wait to see what next year holds.
Yeah, it's been real fun doing it with you, and just the father and son thing, and just enjoying it and learning a little bit and have fun talking about NASCAR.
Yeah, so the race at Iowa, last year we saw a pretty insane race.
Yeah.
This year was, I don't want to say calm because it definitely was not, but in terms
there was some tough racing. I mean, it was really tough to pass and 3 and 4 wide at some points. So it was a lot of, it was very, and tempers flaring too. So if you don't think it's a short track, that's a short track tempers.
If it's not a short track, it definitely raced like one. Don't want to necessarily say what my view is of it or anything, but definitely short track feelings to it.
Oh yes.
But anyways, due to the rain on Saturday, we had a Sunday morning race. About, I believe it was around 11 o'clock for them. So Chandler Smith driving the 51, he would get the automatic pole. Went by owner points, I believe. So knowing the 51 truck and how it's just been running, there's a dog running in the background. Anyways.
Yes, that 51 truck's always fast everywhere you go. It's won a lot of races so far. That's the reason he pretty much started on pole, and he pretty much ran away at the first stage.
Yeah, got up to like a 4 to 5 second lead, but unfortunately he would have some radio communication issues, and that would pretty much make him come in and fix that during the next caution, which would be the number 10 truck.
Yeah. It always seems like the 51 truck always has some kind of trouble when it comes to Iowa. Last year it had some kind of electrical issues, it wouldn't fire and all that. This year it has radio. But yeah, the 10 truck of Gonzalez, he would blow a tire. I mean, but the first time he got to the pit road, but the second time he just lost it and got in the wall and caused the caution to come out.
Yeah, really unfortunate because how do you blow a tire twice in about 30 to 40 laps? I mean, that's...
Yeah, he must have had some kind of damage or something come loose.
Yeah, maybe with camber, maybe the tire was some sort of issue with that. But unfortunate for that team. But that would cause a 2-lap to go in the stage, and so we saw some different strategies maybe, but that would cause the 51 to go far in the pack because he wanted another crew member to jump in the car, fix the radio.
Yeah, he's like, I guess he's so lonely, nobody was really talking back to him through the whole stage, and he just wanted to take a crew member with him. He said, "Could you give me some company?"
I just want someone to talk to, man.
But yeah, it's time to go, y'all, and he's ready to go, but the crew member's in there. But luckily, he jumped out before he crossed that line because he had been taking equipment out of the pit box.
Yeah, and with that, it'd be Ross Chastain, Matt Crafton, I believe Johnny Sauter as well.
Yeah.
They would all be battling for the stage win. Ross Chastain would end up winning the stage, and some contact with Sauter and Crafton. Really insane battle for a stage 1 win.
Yeah, it's 3 wide for the going for the stage 1 win. I mean, that's pretty intense, really. I mean, that's what the stage win's supposed to be about.
Yeah, and sometimes stage racing can be a little bit of an annoyance, but then sometimes it gives you these gems like that, and it's pretty insane to watch. And if it wasn't for stage racing, we wouldn't even get to see moments like that.
Which is really incredible because Ross Chastain, he decided to run the full season of trucks, and he started 19th and raced his way all the way up in the top 10 before that caution, and there he goes and finished the stage, winning the stage.
And with that, he would basically cruise on to win stage 2. It was just dominant performance by him. No one could really touch him. Chandler Smith, he was dicing up the field.
Yes, he was coming through the field. He was really fast once he got the right communications and stuff, and running a smart race.
And I can't remember if it happened in stage 2 or stage 3, but we had that issue with Austin Hill and Johnny Sauter. Austin Hill just straight up dumped Sauter for whatever reason.
Yeah, I know it's tough battles all through the race, and it looked like Sauter might have touched Hill a little bit, and Hill kind of got loose, but it wasn't intentional. I think Sauter was just trying to get the hair off of him, because if he wanted intentionally to wreck him, he would have went ahead and dumped him then. But he saw him go to the bottom and try to dodge him, but Hill would come back and retaliate and just spin Sauter and put him in the wall.
That one caused Sauter to retaliate under caution, go and just put him in the wall. It was something I haven't seen in a long time.
Yes, he has some short track tempers there. I like it. I mean, I like seeing that raw emotion. It's like, don't just come out here and wreck me like that and get some payback. But he just flat out just dumped him under caution and stuff. But I don't blame Sauter one bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's okay just to dump someone under caution, but I mean, if you just got dumped for no reason, then I say it's fair game. It is not the way I would have done it, but it would be fair game in my opinion.
Yeah, I believe Sauter and Austin Hill had a little issues from Texas that carried over into Iowa, and Johnny's just like, I'm just tired of it.
Yeah, I mean, imagine how mad you get going down the highway if somebody cuts you off or something. I could just imagine that being times 100 when someone just wrecks you. I think it's fair game because I've seen more intense battles throughout the field, a little bit more contact, and no one really got upset at each other. I mean, I'm pretty sure they did, but not to the point of just wrecking the guy. So I think it's just a racing deal, but also, know your place when and when not to do something like that.
Yeah.
And that goes to both the 16 and the 13 as well.
Yeah, it's I don't think they should do it under caution like that. Caution trucks come out. They got to attend to everybody, but I don't blame Sauter, but I don't really want to say just dump somebody.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to watch. It gives us something to talk about.
It gives you some excitement. Just go get him. So,
being on the media side, it gives us some more food
to talk about.
And but it's.
I think Sauter just he's had a few weeks of part failures, or wrecks, and all that. Just didn't get the finishes that he really deserves. But I think it's just getting to him a little bit.
Yeah, then the rest of the race really consisted of Ross Chastain versus Brett Moffitt. Moffitt couldn't necessarily get around Chastain, and Ross Chastain would go on to win his second race of the year.
Yeah, I believe that Brett Moffitt really had a faster truck, but he really couldn't make the pass on Chastain. You really want to pass somebody on the high side. If you press them on the low side, you're going to eat up your tires, and so I guess Brett didn't want to do that. So Ross was just cruising to a win.
Yeah, and
speaking of that,
it taught us to not celebrate until they say they passed inspection. Because normally there's been no issue with that throughout the season. We've gotten over at least.
Sometimes they have a penalty, and then they say, well, it wasn't that bad. We just dock them some points, and that's it. But not in this case.
Yeah, in this case, it was a huge penalty, especially to Ross Chastain. He is now out of the playoffs. He lost the win. He lost the money.
Lost the stage wins.
Lost the stage win. Lost everything. Basically, it was a waste of his day racing.
Yeah.
Because after all that, none of it mattered. But
yeah, I believe at the end of the race he was like 16 points within getting in the top 20 with that win. If you get in the top 20, you will be locked into the playoffs. So now I believe he's 60-some points back and still have to win.
Yes, I mean, I do think he is capable of winning again, but this was the easiest way that it could have happened, because going those 1.5 miles, those guys are really fast. There's no way you're going to beat those guys unless you go and do like you did at Kansas, but that consisted of some of those guys wrecking each other out. So I do think he's capable of doing that. I'm just not sure if he's going to get the right opportunity again. But maybe at Gateway he'll perform just as good as he did at Iowa.
I mean, that truck's always fast, and Ross does a good job driving. I believe they said that the front end was too low, extremely low for some reason. I ain't sure exactly what part it was really low. If it was a part failure or something like that, or what it was, I believe they can appeal it if they want to, and I believe we'll probably find out maybe Wednesday or something like that. But in saying that, I guess we'll say congratulations to Brett Moffitt.
Yeah, it is so crazy to me. I mean, this would be Brett Moffitt's first win of the season, first win in the 24, first win for GMS, and which I believe is the first win for GMS as a company as a whole this season. So I just had to think back and make sure that was true. Technically, Ross Chastain is affiliated with GMS, but in terms of that specific team, that is so crazy to me, especially since he didn't even lead a lap and he won a race.
Yeah, he didn't leave one lap and he wins the race. And it's one of the things when you got to obey the rules and stay within the tolerance, and sometimes things happen and you just get knocked out.
As someone who is a Brett Moffitt fan, been pulling for him ever since, I believe, Iowa last year.
Yeah, it was Iowa where we started, and he won that race. So he's the very first one that we got to congratulate on this podcast, and here we are.
Here we are 1 year later saying, congratulations, Brett Moffitt. It wasn't the way that I thought. I thought he would be getting the victory after Johnny Sauter crashed out. Brett Moffitt was going to be my other pick.
Yeah.
I was kind of going between them two, but Brett Moffitt ended up winning anyway. So, would have been crazy for the fast picks if I would have picked Moffitt. You would have won.
Yeah.
And then it would have went to me. So,
but I can't even get a point. I thought that'd be a great storyline for Ross to come to Iowa, get locked into points. Maybe and. Go on for the championship. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out that way. It's just one of the things.
I think the season's starting to finally spark, the drama. We saw the drama with Johnny Sauter and Austin Hill. Will that continue throughout the rest of the season?
Yeah.
Will Ross Chastain get that other win? It reminds me of Joey Logano at Richmond 2017. Of course, it seems like he's going to easily get another win, but will similar situations happen? So, really excited to do the rest of the season. Haven't gotten to do a full season of podcasting from Daytona to Homestead under the same podcast with Incredicast crumbling in 2018. So,
I wasn't on that one.
It wasn't your fault. So, it's going to be really fun, just go all the way to the end of the season. Maybe there's a stink bug. All right, so I guess that's
No more outdoors.
that's our cue to leave, I guess.
Yes.
Hope you all enjoyed this video. I know it was a little different than what we normally do, but it was definitely fun doing it outside.
Yeah, it's fun. Maybe we'll go on location somewhere else, and who knows where we'll end up. So thanks y'all for watching.
So if you're a driver somehow clicking on, want to do an interview, you're in the North Carolina area, just hit us up on Twitter and we'll meet up sometime and do an interview, because I'm really excited to try and do some of the interview stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
All right, so I hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.